There we go. Perfect. All right, and we're live. Hello, Facebook world. I'm Nirupam from Bluewater Travel, and we have Laura here from Bluewater Travel as well. We're going to talk about diving in Northeast Sulawesi. We also have Steve from Murex Resorts, who has 3 resorts in, North Sulawesi. And I'm going to go ahead and get started by sharing this presentation. Okay, perfect. So I'll let Laura take it away, who is an awesome travel agent from Bluewater Travel. She knows everything there is about diving in North Sulawesi because she's been there. So yeah, Laura, I'll let you take it away from here.
Thank you and welcome everyone. I'm really excited to be talking to you today about one of my favorite destinations, which is North Sulawesi in Indonesia. And I think the first time I went to dive in this area was more than 15 years ago, maybe even 20, I can't remember. But I was kind of dragged kicking and screaming to go to Lembeh to dive, muck diving or macro diving. And I must tell you how delighted I was when I first was immersed in the macro diving that's offered at Lembeh. So that is truly special. And in combination with that trip, we also dived in the Bunaken National Park, which offered a complete contrast. So next slide, please, Nirupam. So North Sulawesi is in the Coral Triangle, which most of you have probably heard about. It is one of the most biodiverse marine regions on Earth. And North Sulawesi is a peninsula on quite a big island in Indonesia. And on one side of the peninsula, you've got the Bunaken Marine Park, which is comprised of a few different islands, and each side of the island offers a little bit different dive experience. Most people are familiar with the wall diving and the turtles that inhabit the Bunaken National Park. But there's also a lot of other interesting dives, Manado Tua and Silidin, that are perhaps a bit more for advanced because they can offer a little bit of current, but certainly very interesting and diverse dives within that park. And on the Manado side itself, there are also really good critter dives, which is quite different from Lembeh. And on my most recent trip to North Sulawesi, I had the pleasure of diving at Bangka Island, which is a real combination. You've got coral reef and macro dives on the same dive. So it's a pretty special place in that you can have so much variety within one flight into Manado. You also see some pelagics. Other than turtles, you're going to see some sharks, you're going to see barracuda as well. So it's a really unique geography with the Celebes Sea on one side and the Molucca Sea on the other. So you do get the transitory creatures that go from one side to the other. So that's where you see your pelagics, and also the variety of macro critters. Next slide. Now, how do I get to this great place? You can get to Manado, which is the sort of central point to get to those 3 regions, either through Jakarta or Bali, but that's probably a little bit logistically more difficult. Or my favorite way is via Singapore. It's quite easy for people from all over the world to get to Singapore. It's a nice stop-off destination. And you have 4 flights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, direct from Singapore to Manado. And they are daytime flights, none of this overnight stuff. So it's a good place to connect into in Manado. The other thing is that there is daily flights or almost daily flights between Manado and Sorong, which is the gateway to Raja Ampat. So it's a good stop off before or after a trip to Raja as well. The resort area themselves from Manado range from about 30 minutes to 2 hours. It's a combination of a road transfer and a boat transfer to get to some of the resorts. Manado has both resorts on the mainland and out at, there's some out at Bunaken Marine Park as well. Next slide. Best time to go. You can dive this region pretty much all year round because of the unique geography. The boats can get out of the wind. However, diving is possible is best probably between April and November with calmer conditions. The water temperature, it's nice and warm. Generally, I only use a skin, but some people like to have a little bit more protection, probably no more than a 3 mils required. I've always seen pretty good visibility on the visits that I've done. 10 meters visibility would probably be in, when it's rougher conditions or perhaps during the rainier seasons. The area doesn't get as much rain as, let's say, Bali does in December. So while they do have rain, it's not, a strong rainy season. The currents, most of them are gentle drift dives over at Bunaken National Park. And in Lembeh side, there's hardly any currents, although there could be some at some times, I suppose, but generally it's just an easy swim around in Lembeh, and you want to be taking it easy as well, not to stir things up. And up at Bangka, you get, because it's a channel, that's where you might encounter a little bit more current in those sites. But most certified divers won't find any trouble diving in any of those conditions. So it's pretty suitable for all diver abilities. Next slide. What are we going to see? Well, I might have mentioned some things already, but macro, you're going to see frogfish, lots of frogfish, nudibranchs, really some amazing ones. Some of my favorite frogfish are the hairy frogfish, which is in that bottom center photo. Those are really cool. Some of my favorite octopus, wonderpuss, and now I can't think of the one I'm thinking of, but wonderpuss and mimic octopuses are seen there, and lots of different types of seahorses as well. Other things, your orangutan crabs, ribbon eels.
Right.
So anyway, it's really fun. It's like a treasure hunt, and macro lovers will be happy at all three of those areas to find things. But you've also got good wide angle opportunities, reef sharks, schooling fish, and sea turtles. And one of the things about the walls at Bunaken is you're going to get nice walls with beautiful, stunning corals and blue behind it. So you get that really nice wall shots of the blue ocean and the wall dive. Night diving opportunities, mandarin fish, particularly at Lembeh. Not sure if we're going to see them elsewhere. I think that at Bangka, you're going to find some pygmy seahorses as well on their house reef dive, if they're still there, which is kind of cool. All right. Next slide. Did I mention turtles? Lots of turtles. So I'd like to hand over now to Steve from Murex and Lembeh. And I have been to all three of these resorts. The Lembeh resort I've been to twice, and it's just a beautiful, stunning resort, and with excellent diving and really, really good dive operators. Our partners with Murex, they are really the pioneers in setting up diving in North Sulawesi. And their operations are excellent. Their people, their hospitality is fantastic. So, Steve, over to you.
Outstanding. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Take me just a second to get everything woke up. All right. So My name's Steve. I am the U.S. representative for both Murex Resorts as well as Lembeh Resort, as Nirupam said. Um, Bluewater Travel, our friends over there called me up and said, "Hey, we'd love for you to do a presentation on the diving out in North Sulawesi." So I'm going to talk a lot about the diving today. Admittedly, Laura stole a little of my thunder. She told you a
Thanks
few
for
things we're
starting
going to
me up.
see, but that's okay. I'm going to show you some cool pictures of that
Yes.
stuff. We'll also talk about some of the resorts up in that area. The nice thing about these trips is you get three completely different types of diving. You have the wall diving, you have the reef diving, and then you have muck diving. We'll talk about the resorts in the area that'll get you close to that type of diving. And in the end, I'll talk a little bit about a package that we call a passport to paradise, where you can put all of that together in one great vacation. So let's jump right into it. So as we mentioned, we're in North Sulawesi. So this is a big area. Sulawesi is right down there in the center that's highlighted. The
Can you wait a minute?
importance of that is that
Hold on a
we are
second.
in the center of that coral triangle. 80% of the world's corals are represented within that coral triangle, and we are all the way out at the tip of that island in North Sulawesi. Here's a blow up of that area. That's the very tip. You can see you have Murex Manado over on the left. As we mentioned, that's Bunaken National Park, and that's almost all wall diving. Up at the top, you have Bangka Island. Bangka Island's going to be almost all reef diving. And as you come back down on the right-hand side, now you're down to Lembeh. Lembeh is going to be all of that muck diving that we talked about. Three completely different dive locations, three different resorts, all in one trip. So let's get right into it. Let's start out with Murex Manado. Murex Manado is usually going to be your first stop. It is on the mainland, even though that island is an island, Sulawesi. It's a very large island, so we consider it the mainland, but it's on Manado Bay. Manado Bay is about 10,000 feet deep in the middle of it. Very deep waters around, which help push all of that marine life and cooler water up there to keep our corals healthy. So the first thing you're going to do is you got to get on a dive boat and go out and go diving with us, right? Our dive boats are very spacious. You're going to find we put a maximum of 14 people on the dive boat. That includes the dive guides. We have a maximum of 4 divers to 1 guide. We don't like to have people crowded up. We want you to have fun and be able to see everything. All of our dive boats have a covered dry area in the front, restroom, and a wet area in the back. If we happen to find the dolphins or the whales that live out in Manado Bay, guests are more than welcome to use the bow of the boat or even up on the roof to get better looks at them. Plenty of room, all the equipment that you would expect to see in a dive boat, and a good, comfortable ride. Once we get out to the dive sites, this is what you've come for. We mentioned the tops of those reefs. The biodiversity out here is amazing. Your tops of your reef typically start in about 15 to 25 feet of water, so very shallow. If you have snorkelers in your group, we take them out with the divers, put them right on the tops of the reef while the divers go over the wall. The walls here are very steep. Typically, they're about 1,000 feet drop off straight down. As you can see, though, the tops of those reef, we're not dealing with much coral bleaching, almost none at all. Remember that water around there is extremely deep. That's what helps our corals grow. And we talked about the turtles. Laura mentioned them. On some of our dives, we call them our turtle dives. It's not uncommon to see 20 turtles in one dive. Some people actually get tired of them, say, please take me somewhere else. We get a lot of them, but we get them because of our conservation efforts. Laura mentioned that we are very conscious. The original owner of the resorts, which would be the current owner's father, he started these efforts over 30 years ago. Turtles have been protected ever since then, and it's obvious that they are. They're growing very well, and they're very docile. They're very used to divers. We have both the green sea turtle as well as hawksbill turtle that you'll see pretty common in these areas. We have several other types, including even the leatherbacks, but admittedly, you probably won't see those guys. They're usually out in the blue. All the schooling fish that you would expect to see. Many people focus on that wall and that reef. I highly encourage divers, turn around every now and then. You never know what's swimming behind you. Might be a school of large fish like this, fusiliers, tuna come by out in the blue. A lot of times sharks will go by out there. All the things that you're going to want to see are both in front of you and behind you, 360 degrees of diving. I love this slide because, as Laura mentioned, this is really wide angle area. Some people shoot it with macro, but this is wide angle. And one of the nicest things about this is look at that one slide. There's got to be somewhere between 5 and 25 different types of coral all in one picture. This is a very diverse area. And when you're up on the tops of the reef, there's simply nowhere to put a finger down because it's full of marine life. Again, you can see the drop-offs are steep and the corals are big and beautiful. We also have soft corals. This area, it does have current. Now, the important thing to talk about when we talk about current is that every dive, we put a dive guide in the water before anybody gets in the water and we check the currents. If the current is going left, we're going to dive to the left. And if it changes mid-dive, we're simply going to turn around and go the other way. You guys are on vacation. There's no reason to be swimming against currents. But
Hmm.
we do have enough current to keep those soft corals big and beautiful, and they are plentiful in this area. Let me show you a quick video because pictures are worth 1,000 words. Videos have to be worth a few more thousand. It's only about a minute long and there's no sound. I apologize, but let's take a look at some nice pictures. Just love the tops of those reefs. Plenty of sea life up there. So once you're finished with your diving, what now? For most people, the first thing they want to do is go pull that camera apart and go see what pictures they got. Well, we have a really nice camera room for you. Camera rooms that are going to be at all three resorts. You're going to have your own space, your own charging outlets, towels, compressed air, anything that you would need to work with your camera. We're going to have it right there in the camera room for you. We lock them up at night. No need to take things back to the rooms unless you just want to. And then your room. Once you're done with your camera, this is what happens to be one of our oceanfront villas. The ocean's probably about 20 feet from your front steps. If you noticed over on the left-hand side, that is your bathtub in there. The doors do close if you want, but it's a private beach. You're more than welcome. Take your bath and watch the sunset. The rooms are very nicely appointed, beautiful views out of there. We're all about the water here in Murex Manado. You notice this particular room actually has a moat that goes all the way around it. Some of our rooms are set up as duplexes, and they're on one of the two rivers that flows through the resort. Other rooms are actually set up as a single room. We do have a restaurant here. We use the restaurant for both breakfast and for lunch, but typically in the evenings, we're going to go out and eat out on the beach. The food here will be a mix of both Indonesian as well as more American dishes, if you will. And it'll be a buffet almost all the time, but we'll also have a cooking station. So at night, we'll grill fresh fish. In the mornings, we have an egg station for you. We also have a diver's lounge area. Great place to hang out in the afternoons, evenings, watch the sunset. We have a full bar, only after diving, but you're welcome to have drinks. We love to have you up here. Most of the time, we have people up there showing off their pictures. So that's Murex Manado. You've been here a number of days. Now, our packages are completely customizable. Your agents at Bluewater Travel can put together any type of group trip with individual people, large groups, individual resorts, or all of our resorts. But when you're done with Murex Manado, if you've booked a trip that also has one of our other resorts in it, you'll simply put your clothes in the bag and set it on your front porch. That's it. We handle everything else. We're going to put your dive gear on the boat. We're going to take your dive gear off the boat. You'll have breakfast. You'll hop on the boat. We're going to go do 2 dives. we'll have you up to Murex Bangka by lunchtime. So here's Murex Bangka. We're tucked into the very tip of that island. If you notice the reef out in front of the resort, that's our house reef. All three resorts do have a house reef, and you're more than welcome to dive them anytime you'd
I
like.
clicked on the link in the email.
The very first dive, usually we will guide it. After that, you're welcome to go on your own out there on the house reef. So what are we diving here? Here you've got all of your reef diving. We have pinnacles. So as you can see on the right-hand side, that big set of rocks, that's actually not the shoreline. That is a pinnacle that's rose up out of the water. And then all of your reefs that sprawl out from around it. Here we're looking at entirely different creatures. We're now looking for broad-club cuttlefish. We're looking for pygmy seahorses. We're looking for sea snakes, all out on the open reef. Again, the reefs are very vibrant here, lots of colors, plenty of schooling fish. The little yellow snappers are kind of everywhere out here. And we have the pygmy seahorse. Everybody loves these guys. The reef dives, you're going to have to decide, do you want to go macro or do you want to go wide angle? The nice thing is the guides know where we're going, and they'll tell you well in advance so you can help get those cameras set up. With the pygmy seahorses, we do have two different kinds. We have both the hippocampus as well as the Pogoponte seahorses in this area. And again, the soft corals, beautiful colors you get out there drifting in that current. And again, we don't dive against the current if we have any at all. We're going to go with it wherever it's going. We also have our white tip reef sharks. If you ever see your dive guides poking their head under the table corals and you wonder why, they're looking for those sharks. They'll find them, they'll call you over, and they're pretty docile. You can get good pictures of them. They tend to hang out. Again, let's watch a little video. It does a way better job of telling you than I do. You are more than welcome to clean coral anytime you'd like at our resorts. We'll teach you how. Love the cuttlefish. So Murex Resorts, again, those cuttlefish are so amazing out there. Once you're done with your dives, the dive boat comes right up to the resort. You'll hop off. These are our dive lockers, but as I mentioned before, our guests rarely use them because we handle all your gear. At the end of the day, we're going to take it off the boat. We're going to wash it for you and hang it up to dry. You'll have access to it if you want, but you don't need to because tomorrow morning or the next dive, we're going to bring it right back to the boat, set all your gear up for you. All you need to go is go diving and have fun. Again, we have a nice camera room set up with everything you need, including a nice couch. If you get tired of messing with your camera, sit down and relax. Put your pictures up on the TV. The rooms here, we have two different sets. We have some down right on the ocean front. We have others up on the hillside. So you can see the oceanfront villas have beautiful views of that ocean. The sun sets off to the right-hand side at this particular resort. All nicely appointed. You have sitting areas, that lower left-hand corner, they tend to call it a work area, but again, you guys are on vacation. Use it to look at pictures. Nobody wants to work. If you do feel you have to, we do have internet out at the resorts. We'll get you taken care of, but hopefully you're on vacation and just get to look at good pictures. Some of our rooms are set up as a duplex, some of them set up as individuals. With our duplexes, you share nothing. Even the balconies are cut off between the two, but they're able to be opened up. If you have families or even just friends, we can open that balcony up so you have a private room, but you can share your balcony with your friends and have conversations with them. Some of our rooms are actually right down on the ocean in a Minnehasan style room. Our restaurant, again, is right on the water, beautiful views out over the area. This doubles as our lounge. So in the mornings, evenings, Anybody that's not going diving, it's a nice place to come sit, listen to the water. We have a TV off to the side that you're welcome to use to put pictures up and show your friends. Once you're done with Banka, it's time to leave. And again, all of our packages are customizable, but when it's time to leave, you're going to put your clothes in a bag, set them on your porch. We handle everything else. We're going to have breakfast, hop on the dive boat, and go do a couple of dives. We'll get 2 dives in. We're going to go down to Lembeh Resort. We'll have you at Lembeh Resort. And I love this slide, a touch of luxury in the heart of Lembeh. Now, again, Lembeh is a completely different type of diving. Here, you're going to be doing muck diving. I hate that term muck diving because the first thing people say is, Steve, you want me to pay that much money to go dive in the mud? Are you nuts? I'm not nuts. Let me explain muck diving for those of you that don't know. So, first off, we don't have mud. There's no mud in Lembeh Resort. We have black sand and we have white sand. The black sand is all lava. It's all crushed up volcanic rock. The white sand are from coral reefs. Those bottoms certainly can be stirred up if you try really hard, but they're not mud by any means. But when you're muck diving, you're looking for the critters, smaller things that typically are living on the bottom. So, what kind of things might you ask? Mimic octopus. Mimic octopus and wonderpuss. We have quite a few of them in the area. They're amazing creatures, but maybe you don't like those guys. Well, how about the blue ring? Blue rings may be extremely dangerous, pretty harmless to humans, but they are absolutely beautiful creatures. If you don't like those, well, what about the long arm octopus? And we have many more. Laura tried to name a few. We have the mimic, we have the um, yeah, you made me do it. The mimic, we have the long arm, we have the coconut octopus, we have a hairy octopus, the starry night octopus. We have so many different types. I believe there's 13 different octopus in the area. You will likely see 4 to 6 of them on a trip to Lembeh Resort. The others are going to be a little bit hard to find. That hairy octopus, we only see a couple of those a year, but if you're lucky, you'll find one. But maybe octopus aren't your thing. How about flamboyant cuttlefish? Really cool, amazing creatures and so colorful. They've seen enough divers that they're not extremely timid. As long as you're careful with them, you can sit right there and film them feeding. Beautiful, beautiful creatures. Frogfish. We have many different types, including both the warty and the hairy frogfish. Again, weird, amazing creatures. And even the nudibranch. Nudies are little, colorful creatures, and I would love to name off a whole bunch of them if I could, but I honestly can't. The nice thing is your dive guides can. To be a dive guide at our resorts, you are trained by a marine biologist. They have to pass a very extensive test that I honestly couldn't pass. Because at the end of your dives, they're going to break out their slate and they're going to write down everything you saw. They're going to write it both in its common name as well as its botanical name, including all of those cool nudibranchs you saw. And if a nudibranch isn't cool enough, well, how about a shrimp riding a nudibranch? Because these are some of the crazy things you're going to see in Lembeh. Somebody told me once that God created everything, and when he screwed up, he put it in Lembeh. There are some very interesting creatures there. But you're done with the daytime diving. You're thinking, man, I need to go to sleep. It's not the time to go to sleep. Now is the time to go on a night dive. We do have mandarin fish dive out in Lembeh. We have 2 different spots where we can dive with a mandarin fish. We also do both blackwater and bonfire dives. If you're not familiar with these, the bonfire dives, we take a light and we put it down on a bottom on a shallow reef. You're going to go out and do your night dive out on the reef and work your way back in and out of that light to see what the light brought in. On a blackwater dive, we're going to put you out in the deep, sometimes several thousand feet deep. We're going to run a light down about 60 feet and then we're going to wait. We wait for the critters to come up. A lot of people don't realize that the largest migration on the planet Earth happens every night, and it happens out in the blue water. Little things come up from the bottom up to the top to feed. And these are some of the things that you'll see on those night dives. Things from paper nautiluses, different octopus, other cephalopods, small fish, um, jellyfish, all sorts of interesting creatures that you can see on these blackwater dives. I had a guest tell me once that I was mistaken and we were in shallow water because they saw some like white pebbles underneath us. I explained those weren't white pebbles. It was most likely a school of squid. So different things. Let me show you a quick video. This one's a little bit longer, but it shows you some of those cool underwater creatures from Lembeh Resort. We have our coconut octopus. They're a dream to watch because they'll pull those shells up over themselves and hide themselves in a coconut shell. All sorts of bottom dwelling fish. I would call them flounder, but they're not all flounders. Frogfish of nearly every shape and size. And if you're patient, you can catch them feeding. They're amazing when they're out trying to catch fish. Again, all about the small creatures, little dragonettes. On night dives, we have our bobbit worms. And he's gone. Lembeh Resort is truly an interesting place. Getting in the water there, the first 5 minutes, you're thinking, why did I come here? And then you realize you've been in the water 70 minutes and you're running out of card on your in your camera. But once you're done diving, you go to the resort. And this is truly a luxurious resort. This is what we consider our diver lounge here. Many divers will hang out in this area. We do have a freshwater pool. Our dive lockers here are actually used by the guests. The dive sites are so close here that guests will typically put their wetsuit on up to their waist, walk out to the dive boat. When the dive boat leaves, you'll be ready to get in the water within about 10 to 15 minutes. Our dive sites are very close in this area. We have a full camera shop. We are a backscatter authorized dealer. We can service equipment as well as sell it, and we have rental of gear as well. We can do classes if anybody needs some help with things. We have an on-staff photo pro. Again, full camera room, charging facilities, everything that you would expect in a dive resort. And then our accommodations. This is our cliffside villa. It is actually one room. This is all your room if you book this one, and that is your personal, oh, excuse me, swimming pool. All the rooms are nicely appointed. They have beautiful views out over the Lembeh Strait. Some of the rooms are set up as individual cottages. Others are set up as duplexes, just like our other resorts. Again, similarly appointed in all of the rooms. The larger ones will have a bedroom, kind of a little living room, and then a separate room off, as well as the bathroom. Others will be just one large room with a separate bathroom off to the side. We also have our garden view rooms. Garden view rooms are a little bit smaller and they don't have the view out over the strait. They have a garden view. However, the price point is much smaller on these. So if you happen to be an individual diver or you're just looking to do this on more of a budget, garden view rooms are a good place to go. And then there's the food. Food is going to be a buffet here for breakfast and lunch, again with a cooking station. Dinner will be a menu. We will feed you well, I assure you. You're not going to leave hungry. And if you notice on the lower right-hand side, that sign does say ice cream station because there's nothing better than going diving, coming back, having ice cream with sprinkles, right? What gets better than sprinkles? Maybe it's just me. Again, the restaurant's beautiful views out over there. The sun sets behind the volcanoes over there each evening. It's just a beautiful place to be. We've built a brand new spa. We just opened this spa in December. We can do nails, we can do massages. I believe we can even do hair here, but I never understood why. Who's doing their hair on a dive trip? Really? It's time to go diving, right? But we do have a full facility. We can get you in there, have a wonderful massage. If you're looking to do something on a dry day, we can do everything from snorkeling and kayaking to keep you moderately wet, to village tours, highlands tours, and then one of our most popular tours is Tenkoko National Park. From Lembeh, you can actually do 2 dives in the morning, have lunch. We'll take you out there for the afternoon. Right around sunset, the tarsier monkeys come out. That's the smallest primate in the world, and they are really amazing little creatures. We also have black macaques out there. Lots and lots of things to see. So that is the 3 resorts and the types of diving that you're going to see. Murex Manado, Murex Bangka, and Lembeh Resort. But I told you I'd talk about a passport to paradise. Now, honestly, I've talked about that already. The passport to paradise, simply, you're going to do a little bit of work. You got to get to Manado. Laura talked about how to do that through Jakarta or through Singapore. Once you show up in Manado, you're done working. Take your gear out, get it outside of customs. We're going to pick it up, put you in our air-conditioned vans, and we're going to drive you out to Murex Manado. You're going to have wonderful dives out on the walls there. When your package is finished, you hop on the dive boat after breakfast. All you've got to do is put your clothes back in the bag. We handle everything else. We'll do 2 dives on the way and get you up to Bangka Island. Bangka Island, you're going to be doing all of your reef diving up there. Again, you're there a number of days, whatever your package is. When it's time to go, you have breakfast, hop on the dive boat, do a couple of dives, get you down to Lembeh Resort. It is the critter capital of the world. Everybody will tell you Lembeh Strait is the critter capital. If you're going to go do muck diving, that's the place to do it. When you're done, you're going to shed a little bit of a tear. I always do. But put your clothes back in a bag. We're going to dry all your gear for you. We'll bring it up to the room so you can pack it, get everything packed up. We'll put you in a vehicle and we'll take you back to the airport. We have built a new toll road. So Laura mentioned that the time between there is between 30 minutes to 2 hours. We've cut that down most days to about an hour with that new toll road. Get you there a lot quicker these days. But you're going to wonder, well, how much is that? It sounds expensive. It's not. So this is just a sample package. Again, everything we do is customizable, but 4 nights at each resort, 4 nights in Manado, 4 nights in Bangka, 4 nights in Lembeh, 18 guided boat dives, plus you'll do 4 dives on all those transfer days using air with our premium package using 2027 rates. That'll cost you $4,240. If you're looking to do it on a little bit more of a budget, the standard package. The only difference is going to be the rooms. These are those garden view rooms that I talked about. We can get that 12-night package in around $3,400. Can't beat that for a passport to paradise. 3 amazing resorts, 3 truly unique dive areas, all in one great vacation. We hope you call Bluewater Travel soon. Book a trip with us. We'd love to have you. Nirupam and Laura, I'll turn it back over to you, and then maybe we'll take some questions.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks so much, Steve. I appreciate the presentation. That was awesome. Laura, I'll let you take it from here. Let me just go ahead and share that final slide that we have. Okay.
Thanks, Steve. That was great. I was watching all the lovely photos, and then all of a sudden I thought maybe I should answer some questions. So I've answered some of them already, and you can get to the rest of those at the end. So Blue Water is working with Murex and with their Passport to Paradise program. As Steve mentioned, we can fully customize these packages. So if you're a diver that's much more into the muck diving, we can help you spend more time in Lembeh area. But if you really love the wall diving and the reef diving, we can help you spend more time at the other area. So while we offer 3 resorts in this area, you can only choose to do 2. But it is just, I can't tell you the relief it is that when you're getting ready to move, you don't have to pack up your dive gear wet. You don't have to disassemble your camera. I mean, that, leaving your camera in place and just carrying that along to the next resort is truly valuable. So, along with being able to customize your package, which resort you want to spend how much time at, and which type of room you want. All of the transfers are included, and they just will handle it, all of the details for you. And your agent at Bluewater can help put together the customized package for you and your group. As well, I don't see it on my screen. Is there another page or? Right. We have a special offer. Is there another slide?
Uh, is it this section on the right side?
Oh, okay, maybe that is hidden from my view. There we go. So we're also offering a spending voucher. And the spending voucher is worth up to 10% of the value of your trip. And so if your trip is $4,000, you're going to get a $400 spending voucher, which you can spend at the resort. You can spend that on night dives. You could spend it in the gift shop or at the bar. So whatever you find the best value for that spending voucher, it's yours to use how you want at the resorts that you visit. You can get that voucher and you can book your trip by contacting us on info@Bluewater Dive Travel, or just contact your favorite Bluewater agent and they will be able to help you organize this trip. So I'll hand it back to Nirupam to help with the questions.
Sorry, I was muted there, of course.
Okay.
So that's perfect. Let me see here. I have a full list of questions in our chat, and I will get through each one of them. We actually have quite a few questions, so I will start from the top here. Do any of those resorts have a velo gear?
I saw that one, and I would say no. We do have full line rental equipment. We have large tanks, small tanks. We've got about everything you would want. However, we're not running a velo equipment out there. We are pretty remote, so we try to make sure we have everything that we can service.
Great. The next question that I have is, I have a non-diving spouse. Are there any other um, activities for her? She does snorkel, sightseeing, spa treatments, are more of what she's into.
Outstanding. Yes. So actually, I travel. I'm leaving to head out to Indonesia soon. I bring my girlfriend with me, who is a non-diver as well. Um, Two of the resorts you'll go to do have a pool. One of the resorts doesn't. However, the water out front is only a couple feet deep. So if you want to go out and just cool off, no problem at all. We do have lots of different tours from each of the resorts. From Bangka, one of the really nice things, if you just want to get out and stretch your legs, you can walk over the island all the way down the beach and take you to a village just down there. Very interesting tour. Um, and we can take you by boat if you want as well. You're welcome to go out for a boat ride. We can do snorkeling. Spas at all 3 resorts. Some of them very elaborate, some of them a little smaller, but certainly we can do spa treatments everywhere. Compared to United States rates, I would say ours are dirt cheap. Trying to remember, but I think an hour massage rounds out to around $30 in many cases.
Wow. Are there opportunities for larger pelagic mantas? That's our next question we have here.
Um, I would love to say yes. I have seen a whale shark out there. So we definitely get the biggest of the big. We do get mantas, but I would not go here for those items. It's not what we're there for. Probably the biggest thing we're going to see often are going to be the white-tip reef sharks and the occasional tuna going by in the blue. Like I say, I have seen the big boys come cruising through, but they're usually passing by and they don't hang out forever. We do see a lot on the top. We'll see dolphins as well as whales out in Manado Bay, but we usually don't get in the water with them. We let them be.
Cool. The next question I have is, do you group non-photographers together?
If we have groups, we tend to let the people decide what they want to do with groups. Remember, we're only going to put about 10 divers on a boat. So we look at how many cameras we have. If everybody's bringing this massive video rig with big lights, we're going to keep those people apart because they're going to hog the critters. So we'll typically bring the folks that have the smaller cameras or the without cameras, we'll keep them separated, or at least make it where we don't have everybody with a big camera or everybody as a non-photographer.
The next question I have is, weather permitting, can you arrange a Blackwater dive on request?
Absolutely. We'll do a blackwater dive pretty much any night of the week, weather permitting. And for the most part, we can do blackwater dives most days. Obviously, if the wind is picked up, it'll get a bit rough out in the middle of the bay. However, usually by the time the sun sets, the wind is gone out there, unless there's a big storm somewhere. So we'll do blackwater diving anytime you want. We do night dives as long as we have two divers that request it. We'll do a night dive any night of the week.
Great. The next question I have is, are the house reefs good for snorkeling as well?
Absolutely. There's three different places, three different house reefs, and of course they're three very different. Lembeh Resorts does get deep, but it starts in about 15 feet of water. It's probably not the best one for snorkeling. The other two are very nice for snorkeling. They both start really at the shore. You can simply just walk in. Most of the time we start over by where our boats dock because it's a little deeper there. But I have guests that just want to walk in straight from their room and no problem at all.
The next question I have here is, what is the average depth of the reef dives?
So our typical dives, I will say that our average depth is going to be about 60 to 70 feet. The important thing to keep in mind with our dives is the dive profile as a whole. We strive for a 70-minute dive. So we don't keep you down deep. If we're going to go to even to 70 feet, we're going because there's a reason. There's something down there we want you to see. And then we're going to get you up into that shallower water and work our way up so we can get you that 60 to 70 minutes of bottom time.
That definitely makes sense. It definitely helps. Uh, the next question I have is Indonesian cuisine available alongside international?
Absolutely. So in all three resorts, you're going to have a mix of that. You're going to have some Indonesian cuisine, nasi goreng, mie goreng, other Indonesian type dishes, and then you'll probably also have a lasagna or I always wonder what is American cuisine because they say lasagna is, but it seems like it's Italian to me. Um, but we will have a variety. We make sure everybody stays well fed, and we can handle vegetarian, vegan diets. Just make sure you let us know in advance.
The next question I have is, are the rooms air conditioned?
Absolutely. Your rooms are going to be air conditioned at all three resorts. In Murex Bangka, we do run by solar most of the time during the day. So we'll often turn the air conditioning off during the day while all the divers are out in the water. We pop it back on in the afternoon when all the divers get back, cools your room down in 15 minutes, and you're good to go.
The next question I have is, how long does it take to get from island to island?
So if you were to just leave one resort and go to the other resort in the dive boat, it would take you between an hour to an hour and 45 minutes. Keep in mind, we do two dives along the way. So what we'll do is we'll run to the first site. You'll get ready. You'll go diving. You're down 60 to 70 minutes. Then during your surface interval, we're going to do some moving. We do another dive. Then we get you to that next resort by lunchtime. And if we do have any guests that go, I really don't want to do that water dive or water transfer, maybe I get seasick, maybe I just don't like it, it's not a problem. We can do a land transfer with no problem at all.
The next question I have is, are rates per person based on double occupancy? What would the rate be for a single? And then are there triple options?
Okay. So the rates that I displayed, yes, that is double occupancy, and they are per person. The single supplement, it does vary a little bit. Think of it being about 25% above that, if you're looking at single occupancy. And that question's best send to Laura when you get to her. She'll get you the exact number. And we do have several rooms that can handle triple occupancy with no problem. As I mentioned, a lot of those rooms have a bedroom, they have another room, and they have a living room. That living room can be converted to a futon or something like that, and we can put a third person in them. Also, you have the option of the duplexes, which are semi-connecting.
The next question I have is, what is the best season? Once again, please, because I know you did cover that.
Yeah, no problem. So really the absolute best is going to be October. Now, admittedly, we are sold out almost all the time in October because I tell every person that asks that question the same thing. Um, but it is the middle of our season. As I mentioned, I'm leaving Tuesday. I'm heading out to Indonesia. I always go in August. The weather is beautiful and it does not rain in August. It's our dry season. As you get all the way into February, that's the height of our rainy season. But in our area, as Laura mentioned, we don't have monsoon type rains. It'll typically rain in the afternoon. So not a bad thing. We can dive all year long, but really right around that August all the way through Christmas, absolutely the top end of our season, with probably October being the height of it.
The next question I have is nitrox available?
Absolutely. We bank nitrox at 32%. So if you are diving nitrox, you'll come out, test your tanks every morning. That's the last time you touch your tanks. We're good to go.
The next question I have here is, are night dives extra or included?
The night dives are extra. If I remember correctly, there's a $10 supplement for a night dive. We give that to our dive guides because normally they would have went home, but they're now staying with you instead of their families. And then the Blackwater dives have a higher supplement. And be honest, I don't remember what it is, but I think it's about $50 on a Blackwater dive. Because we're going out, obviously, quite a ways, getting you out there and staying for a while.
I have another question about the single supplement, but I believe you answered that, so I can skip that one. And of course, you can always contact Laura, or anybody at Bluewater Travel for more information. The next question is, are there any times of year that are better weather wind-wise, which you kind of touched on there, I think.
Kind of touched on that. Like I say, as we get into October, you're before the rainy season and after the windy season. So as you're before August, it is a bit windy. It is our dry season, so it's not going to rain. However, it gets a little windy, and honestly, the only resort that cares is going to be Murex Bangka. So the house reef gets a little rough, but we dive around the other side of the island. It's calm.
For the next question I have, for the Blackwater dives, are divers tethered to the boat or adrift? Which is
They are adrift. We put a large lantern down in the water with a big buoy on top of it. All of our guides get in the water and they stay out in the black to kind of leave you alone. And you kind of stay in the light and go with the light, and the boat stays off a little so it doesn't scare the critters.
great.
But we
Okay.
watch you close so you won't find the bottom, I promise.
The next question is, are there laundry facilities?
Yes, all three resorts we can do laundry. There is an extra charge, but it's again dirt cheap. The Indonesian rupiah, I believe, is 14,000 rupiah to the dollar. So the exchange rate is really good. Your dollar goes a long way at our resorts.
The next question is, does the package price include diving or just accommodations? Which,
The package price, you can build in anything you want. The package I showed you does include 18 guided dives and then four more dives on the transfers. Again, you can put your package any way you want it. More dives, less dives. Oh, and then if you go over your amount, it's no problem. Just buying more at the resorts, no problem at all, of course.
the next question I have, it's a good question. Do the resorts have top shelf cocktails in the cocktail lounge?
Uh, I would be very careful answering this one. Lembeh always has top shelf. They've got Macallan, They've got some higher end vodkas there. At the Murex resorts, we may or may not have the truly top shelf stuff. If you're looking for something specific and booking a trip, get with your agent. They can email us. I can tell you exactly what we have, but we'll definitely have the standards. We'll have some rum, we'll have some vodka. We can make the cutesy umbrella drinks, or we can make you a martini.
Um, the next question I have was, I think you covered it actually. How much were the night dives? That was,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, and then see if there's one more question here. What is the daily schedule? How many boat dives per day?
Okay. At all three resorts, you're going to look at a 3 dive day as our normal dive day. At the two Murex resorts, you'll go out in the morning, do 2 dives, back for lunch, long sit time, back out in the afternoon, back to the resort, and then we'll do a night dive if we have 2 or more divers that want to do it. At Lembeh Resort, it's a little bit different. The dive sites are so close, we go out and back every time. But it is still a 3 dive day, a fourth dive if you want to do a night dive, and you can slam in a reef dive if you want. So you can do 5 dives a day if you do the house reef as well.
Great. The next question is, what would it be like diving in March, April?
March, April is a great time of year. Our spring is going to be kind of their fall, a little bit different. Keep in mind, we're right on the equator, so we really don't have the seasons that you would have here in the US or many other countries. April is a pretty busy time of the year. Many people come out because they want to come out for Easter. The good news is it's a Muslim country. They don't celebrate Easter as much, so we're free at the resorts.
Um, the next question and second to last question is, can you dive the house reefs and is that extra, which I believe you touched on?
Yep, you can dive the house reefs on all of our packages. They're unlimited. Just ask for a tank. We'll hand you a tank and go. We will guide you the first time because let's face it, I don't want you to end up in Australia. Kind of want you to know where you're going. But after that, you're welcome to take it and we'll just watch you from the shore.
That's awesome. Um, and then two cost questions. So, what are the costs of additional dives, and is nitrox extra?
Nitrox is extra if you book an air trip. You can book a nitrox trip, but if roughly it works out to about $7 a tank for nitrox, so not expensive at all. The extra dive, I believe the nitrox boat dive. Don't don't yell at Laura if I get this wrong, but it's pretty close to about $65 for an extra dive, and that's a boat dive, of course, with nitrox.
Great. Well, let's see here. I think I'm just looking at Facebook as well. I'm trying to grab questions from everywhere. We had
No problem.
over 50 people show up just on Zoom, so we have lots of questions here, but it looks like we've gotten through everything. So that is pretty much it. So just to remind you guys, if you want to get in touch with us, reach out to us at info@bluewaterdivetravel.com. You can reach out to Laura at bluewaterdivetravel.com and she can get you set up with any package you like. Um, or you can send us a DM if you're on Facebook and you're watching this from Facebook. Just send us a direct message. We're happy to help you out. And then remember, we also are the same company as Blue Water Photo and Scuba. So if you are looking to take photos while you're on your trip, feel free to reach out to us at sales@bluewaterphotostore.com or again, send us a direct message. We're happy to get you set up with a camera, teach you how to use your camera system. We do workshops all the time, and we're also happy to help you figure out the best scuba gear for this kind of diving as well. So we've got scuba specialists that can help you find the right gear. But I think that's everything. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure. It looks like everybody's still on, which is awesome. This was recorded, and I will send the link to everybody who did miss it. And yeah, thanks again, and hopefully we'll see you out there diving.
Outstanding. Thank you all very much. We hope to see you out there soon.
See you guys.
Bye bye.